Hello everyone, welcome back. It's me, Hydra, again. I am here today going through a new warband with you, Witch Hunters, level 0. Don't worry, the undead will still be coming, but we're going to be running these guys in parallel just to give you some different things to see. So again, we're starting at level 0 just because most of you guys will, and I think it's going to better represent what you guys are actually up to in the game. So without any further ado, here's the warband. We have a straight ordinary leader, a knight who we managed to get some heavy armour out of the shop for. We have 2 zealots and a flagellant. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. We managed to bag a handgun straight out of the shop for the leader. He's going to be ranged and specialising more in, well, ranged combat. So without any further ado, let's move on to the missions and see what we have available today for us. So much per the last campaign, we're going to go for the hardest missions possible, but what you'll notice on day 1 is they never throw anything hard or deadly at you, so you get the choice. So let's see what we have, see if there is anything. Perfect. Each warband goes far from each other. Weirdstone rush. Let's crack on with this and I'll meet you in the deployment. Hello guys, welcome back to the deployment. Here we have a typical sort of Weirdstone rush map. There's some large clusters over here, one down south, and we're nicely spread out around our wagons. So what I've done to make the deployment a little bit easier is I did originally put markers on the deployment zones, and I went ahead and looked for those when scrolling left and right. I find this makes it a little bit easier if there's a few deployment zones you want to use in particular. So we're a little bit spread out. We've got one of our guys down here who's just going to go check out this Weirdstone, see what's up, try and make it out without dying and grab us some loot. Everyone else is going to be moving over to the left to these large clusters here. Hopefully we can get some clusters and, well, we'll be rich. So without any further ado, let's get cracking on with turn 1. And what I think I'll probably do, because it's going to be maybe 2 or 3 turns before we see any combat, is I'll likely just edit the video here and cut forward a little bit for you guys and bring you a little bit closer into the combat. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay guys, welcome back. I fast forwarded a couple of turns just to get into position. We've managed to get our man down south, who does have a name, Father Klaus. He is down here collecting the Weirdstone. You'll notice he's actually already hoovered it up, and he's going to hightail it out of there because things are starting to heat up. We have also made contact. I will show you in just a moment after we're done running. Maybe we'll even go back to our wagon, hide there. So without any further ado, we have some enemy. We're against the chaos, which is pretty cool. We're witch hunters, so I can't help but feel like this is our purpose. What we're going to do is slowly move into position and hopefully get some range damage off with my hero. We've got the super duper long gun on him, which is, it's not called a long gun, but it is pretty long. The range is long though, and I love it. I love it, I love it. The only downside is it doesn't have a plus bonus to hit, and I wouldn't have mind. It would have been nice perhaps to get a pair of pistols with a plus hit bonus for this early game. The plus hit can be pretty useful. Likewise with bows, even in melee, having maces on some of your characters is quite nice for these first few rounds because the damage isn't much lower, but you do get a plus to hit. I'm not going to make it to those stones, so we'll go on ambush here. I don't want to go too far forward because then I may not. Oh, I do get an opportunity to shoot. We might as well do an aim shot because we got loads of points. 33, not great, but it'll do. It'll do. 3 to reload. Not cheap. That is a hefty looking gun. Right, and we might as well go and dodge. It's a shame that we've got sort of 2 pills spare, but there's nothing you can do about it with black powder weapons this early. I think having a bow on him would make more sense, but he's a witch hunter, he doesn't like bows. So, hey. So, let's see what else the enemy's got in store for us. Still only 1, 2 on the radar now. We're doing fairly good for Weirdstone. You'll notice 6 have been collected, only 3 have been me. It's quite good to keep an eye on that counter because you know how much the enemy is carrying. And you know that they've probably cleared out a few of the other points on the map. So, let's get our tank into position. You'll notice with this warband is I have named everyone. I want to actually get into this a little bit. I want to get some feels when my men die, and I want to feel
a new round has started.
Connection. And I recommend you do that with warbands too, because if you've got a load of henchmen that are all fairly similar, sometimes naming them makes it a lot easier to figure out what skills they have, or what traits they might have, or deformities if you've thrown them about a little bit too much. It doesn't mean you have to call a tank tank, although I have done that in the past, but You can sometimes call people more butch things if they're going to be a frontliner. You may call them a scary name if they've got demoralise. It's just an idea for you, but I find it fairly useful to save you trawling through your stats or bringing out any spreadsheets to figure out how everyone's built. So, what are we rocking here? I'm going to let him come to me in a dodge stance, because I'm not going to make it to him, and there's a chance he might get stuck out in the open and I get a free round of shooting off, which is nice. And I believe, if I look closely, it looks like he has a two-hander, so he should be pretty low on the initiative tree. Oh no, maybe he's not. We'll find out. We'll find out. Right, let's do some more shooting. 87%, that's pretty good. Another 35, not too bad, not too bad. Right, it's a shame that this does have a bonus to crit, of which I think I have a very minimal chance. But crit-based builds are really strong in this game. If you're new to the game and you're wondering why crit is good, it's not just for the damage. Crit also has a chance to stun an enemy, and a stunned enemy essentially has a very reduced turn. They have to spend a lot of points recovering from their stun, and whilst they are stunned, you get to guarantee hits on them. So with your henchmen that might be a little bit unreliable, especially with two-handed weapons, you get guaranteed hits, which is awesome. So this guy, you'll notice he can't parry and he has no dodge, but he does have heavy armour, so the mitigation's kind of still there. I'm going to put an ambush for that reason, because there's no advantage.
A new round has started.
I do want this man to come to me. Yes, it's a little bit cowardly, but I'm a witch hunter. I don't have to just charge at them. I can be a little bit intelligent about how I fight. So, any further ado, let's carry on rolling. And we're going to form some form of defensive perimeter. Always good to keep your warband fairly close together. Fairly close. Obviously ranged people may be able to help each other from afar. Is that guy coming down? I'm kind of feeling like he might be a bit stuck. We'll give him one more turn and then we'll go to him, because I don't want to just sit here and shoot him continuously if he's stuck on terrain. That's a little bit unsporting, even for a witch hunter. Might as well put him in dodge. Nothing else to spend the points on. Once I get one more point with him, then we'll be able to make a double shot each turn, or potentially we could upgrade him with a sort of that specialised shot in the meantime, where he can expend another point and maybe get a bonus to crit or a bonus to hit, something like that. But skills are going to be for some point in the future when I've actually got some money. For now, I'm just happy gathering stones, and we've gathered a few so far. I forgot to mention, man down south, Mr. Klaus, he did get a cluster, so we're already doing pretty well. Now, let's have a little look at the map here, because the enemy clearly aren't in a rush coming to us. I'm wondering if the AI pathing has sort of failed us a little bit. Is that a hole in the road? That looks like it's impassable, so what we'll do, I can't say 100%, but I'm going to go over here. Right. Drop down, I dares you. I've got
a new round has started.
Oh, wow. Weapons of Destruction. This is a really good spell, actually. I've never had any success with that hero when playing Chaos. I've tried building him every way I can, and as a caster I succeed in one thing, which is killing myself. 8 gold crowns. It's not great, but it's slightly more than a Woodstone Shard, I guess, in terms of value, so that'll do. And if we can, I'm going to pick up these two,
objectives
bring up
updated.
Someone else for the rest. Reason being, if I...
Objectives updated.
Yeah, if I stand here, someone else can come on and pick up these other 2 points left and right of me, and I'm not too much in the way. Hell, I've even got some movement to get out the way. Stick us in an ambush stance, if anyone does decide to drop down. Doesn't look like he's going to. Right, back to the wagon with the cluster. Most important thing that's happened to this man all week. He got a cluster, and he did manage to have a nice clean shave. Nice. So, onward and upward.
Objectives updated.
Yeah, I'm presuming this is one of those The type of guys that beat themselves up over nothing. Literally.
Objectives updated.
Bright light. That is a bright light. Yeah. We'll wait here for him. I would like some more of them to appear, because quite frankly this has been a little bit cruel on the chaos so far, and I'm not expecting this to happen on a regular basis. Just enemies to appear and let you just shoot them. But well done for hitting 3 times in a row. Van Heineken is rocking. Yeah, let's roll out. Oh, there was a glitch. Never mind. Yeah, we'll end turn there. So because that was their leader, you'll notice their morale has dropped quite a lot. It's pretty much halved, which is great. Killing a leader is very, 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 very useful, especially if you're aiming to win a game quickly. If you want to wait it out and gather all the stones you can, then maybe killing him first is not as ideal, but if you're going to go for anyone first, I think it should always be the leader. Then you only have to kill maybe another hero and henchman at this point to make them have to pass a test. So we'll leave stone gathering to the people that aren't in heavy armour. We'll see if this man has... Nice. And do we want a sword or shield?
Objective completed.
Because it is quite plentiful. There's lots of shields kicking around at this point. We will go on ambush. Quite far ahead of the other troops.
A new round has started.
He's a big boy, he can take it. Again, this guy is just trying to head away from the enemy. I might bring him sort of back behind the rest of the warband, just to keep him safe, because I really don't want to lose that cluster. Shame we're going to have to expend an extra point there. We're just on the edge. It always sucks when you use sort of 1/10 of a movement slot, but that's fine. Moving on. Yeah, I was going to say, if that other guy can climb in heavy armour, then you with your dirty rags should be fine. Right. So we're moving on out. Moving on out. Yes! Excitement. There is man to kill. He seems to have gone the impossible way, which would lead me to believe that it was not. You missed me with a one-handed mace. You, my friend, are bad. Smack. That's for being bad. Right, good job. Oh, I can flee. Always good. No, no thank you. I'm surprised zealots can flee. I wouldn't have thought it would be their cup of tea. Maybe I could have moved there for a higher percentage, but what you do find is when someone's locked into combat, well, the chances of hitting them are pretty poor. I think it's minus 20% or something along the lines of that. It's pretty tough. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and spend a point there. Oh no, I've spent all my points. Oops. Right, we'll just wait here. Hide in a hole. Yes, I could be engaged on, but I've got enough people nearby that they could just collapse and help out. No one's going to kill a leader in one turn at this point in the game. Later in the game, if you leave someone like that out in the open, yes, they could die quite quickly. Aha! And speaking of trouble... kind of relieved that he's only got a sword. People with two hands at this point in the game are far more scary and intimidating. So, I think we will go forwards. And it's actually okay for this guy to charge me. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! There we go. The reason I want him to charge me is I now get 2 turns. Well, I get 2 swings, should I say. Showing! Not too bad, not too bad. 1 hit. Not perfect, but...
A new round has started.
Donkey. It'll do. And I've got backup man. Sven Örsson. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. If anyone's Nordic. Well, that was exciting. You run up to them, poke them with a spear. Spears are nice because if someone's in a defensive stance you get to bypass sort of a 10% of that, which is good. It sort of works in a similar way to this, where you'll get a high chance to hit. So it's nice to have early on in the game when you want the damage to be more reliable, more consistent. Having big spikes but having inconsistent hit percentages, yes, it can go well, but you're basing your 36%, you're basing everything on RNG, so yes, it might go well, but if you play enough games, eventually it will go very badly. I think we can finish him. Good job, my son. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move up, we're going to loot his boot. Actually, I don't think we're in range. I'd like to be in... we'll loot him. Damn. I was kind of hoping he would have a couple of stones for me. That's fine. Now we're going to move this guy into combat too, because this hero is not immune to all alone tests. I don't have weapons to change to, and I can't actually attack him in melee. So I would like to make him fail an all alone test. I'll get someone else in the combat scene as well. Oof. And what you'll notice there is that guy failed his all alone, and I got a free swing with 2 characters. Really, really good. Let's put him out of combat, so now, when this guy charges at me, we're going to have... ooh, nice. 2 people ready there to take him on. Now, we've lost Peter Weirdo.
Objectives.
He got the nickname Weirdo because he insists on being topless all the time. Everyone else wants to wear armour, you know. Makes sense. Nice. That's what we like. That's what we like. 2 clean things, and the job is done. Do I want a greatsword? Not really. I think, oh hell, I'll take one. Planning ahead. Change of mind. There is Weirdstone on the map. I've not completed the objective yet. I need 2 more. So, now, I'm going to see if I can force this guy to take another all-alone test.
A new round has started.
My other man has higher initiative, so I don't think I needed to spend that last point there. I nudged forward a little bit too much. Ah, right, that's the rest of my stones that I want to grab. So we'll have to send someone around. Now we want to charge, we've got 3 points, so that's all we want to. He can't run away now, which is good. Which is good. And I'll be very surprised with a dagger if he's going to do any damage. Right, switch weapon. Okay. We do have a sword. Ugh, look at that damage. This is going to take a while. I think I do get a bonus to dodge though, with a one-handed weapon. Well, I don't think I know I get a bonus to dodge. So what we'll do is 60% dodge, not too bad. Chances are if he swings at me twice I will dodge one. Damn. I was hoping I'd get one more turn to pick up the rest of the stones. It just goes to show, if you don't prioritise doing secondary objectives, well, you're probably not going to do them. Unless you get very lucky. Right, so welcome back everyone. We're going to be going through a little bit of the post-battle sort of warband management. What I'm going to do is just briefly talk to you about each warband member, what their path is going to be, what I'm hoping to achieve with them, and a little bit on about what sort of skills I may be going for. If you're not too interested in this, I'd suggest skipping forward to the next video. Sometimes a warband management, if you play this game quite a lot, can be a little bit repetitive. So, without any further ado, full recovery. Lovely to see, because that is a man I'm actually hoping on keeping. Good amount of Weirdstone, 32, settle for that. So let's pay for, oof, not too bad, 17. So 500 left, quite a lot. You're probably wondering why that's so much. Well, it's because I've already played it. Now, moving on. We're going to go for ballistic skill. Generally speaking, if a character can achieve over 15, it means they're quite good at something. A lot of skills in this game are at 15. The advantage of having 16 is if I get an injury that lowers my ballistic skill, I still have 15 and I'll still be able to use those higher tier skills. Equally though, I could level this guy for weapon skill without a problem, but ballistic skill first, let's get his hit percentage up. Moving on, we're going to go for strength for this guy. I want him dealing damage, nice and straightforward. Eventually we'll go for a bit of toughness. He's not going to dodge anything in heavy armour, so agility is just pointless. Nothing for him, nothing for him. These guys will both be working around well, one is actually going to be more of a dodge and one a parry tank, because I believe it's good to have a mixture of different tanking types in a party. If you have too many parry tanks and come against an impressive and a demon, you can't parry that, so suddenly you don't have tanks, you only have armor mitigation. If they're sort of light armored, well, you're probably going to die very quickly. So always have some dodge tanks in a party too. Now obviously this guy being naked, he's not really going to be a parry tank. I don't think he can even equip a weapon that can parry, no. So he is going to be a dodge tank. We're going to be leveling up agility with him. We're going to maybe be going for a little bit of leadership so he can do some more offensive leadership things, although he is a henchman, so he's only going to get a couple of skills. And lastly, we'll probably go for a mixture of weapon skill and accuracy depending on the skills we want to achieve for. Skills we're going to be looking for are ones that increase accuracy with our main hero to begin with, and with our tank we're going to probably be looking for things that increase parry chance, melee resist, things like that. There's a lot out there, especially those that are in the sort of shield specialisation. For the moment we're going to stick with the two-hander though, just so we can rinse through enemies, but once we get some more gold and some skill points, that's what we'll be cracking on with. So I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you found it fairly interesting. Please feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, whatever you fancy, and I will see you next time. Remember to check out the Undead videos too, they're going through a mainly sort of deadly brutal campaign. These guys will be too, but again, first day, you never see anything too rough. So thanks for stopping by, my name's Hydra, and I will see you tomorrow.